Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna. If this is your first time joining me and my channel, thank you for being here. I hope you stay. I hope you find this information helpful. My ultimate goal is to help you know yourself on a much more deeper level, to help you know yourself more, to help you understand yourself from a much higher perspective. And the reason for that is that the more we understand ourselves, the more we truly see ourselves and our potential, the more likely we are to live up to our potential and experience life to the fullest. So if this is your cup of tea, I would love for you to join this channel, subscribe, maybe click the notification button, the little bell, click like if you so choose, and maybe share this channel, this video, with a friend or two who you feel might benefit from a higher understanding of themselves as well. So thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. Again, I always say, without you watching this, without you receiving this material, there would be no need for me to channel this material. And when I channel, I feel at home. It is an energy that is very familiar to me and is literally makes me feel whole and like I'm at home. So thank you for being here, because you being here and receiving this information allows me to do this. And when I do this, I feel fantastic. For the most part, with the exception of maybe today. Not that I don't feel fantastic, but I have been experiencing some pretty funky energies. So this is something I want to talk about first before we move on to individual messages, individual piles. And but before I do that, please make sure that you get yourself free transformational tools that I have developed for you. In order to help you expand and grow. So if you're looking to be more at peace with yourself, if you're looking to heal your inner child, if you're looking to clear some of the stagnant energy that has been holding you back, if you are wanting to experience literally more of your potential, if you're wanting to express more of yourself into the world, then click the link below and you will get instant access to these transformational tools that are of absolutely no cost to you. In addition, I am holding a masterclass live at the end of April on how to connect with your guides, with your spirit guides. So if you are wanting to join me live, or if you want to watch the replay for that matter, that link is, or that masterclass is included in the link below. We have, I believe, almost 500 subscribers to the masterclass. So I hope you are one of them. I hope you join us. Again, if you are not able to join us live, no problem. This will be recorded and it will be available to you as a replay, so you will always have it. You can always have it at your disposal. And again, of course, thank you so much for being here. Oh, before I forget, thank you. Next Saturday, which is April the 30th already. By the way, happy birthday to those of you who have birthdays in April. Mine is coming up on April 25th. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a Taurus with a Libra rising sign and moon in Sagittarius. I don't even know why I just said that, but for some reason, some of you want to know, so here it is. I'm not an astrologer. I mean, I know some things, but I am definitely not well versed in astrology. However, next Saturday, April 30th, we are having a new moon solar eclipse in a sign of Taurus. And that brings with it a whole bunch of interesting and fascinating frequencies. And on that day, on a Saturday, I am holding a transformational, healing, powerful breathwork session. So if you are wanting to experience powerful experience through breathwork, join us. That link is also down below. For those of you who have experienced breathwork sessions with me and Kamel, you already know how powerful that is. You've been asking me to keep offering these sessions, so I am obliging to you and I am listening to you. And there is one on Saturday, April the 30th. So make sure you click on the notification below or on the link below and get yourself registered. Again, if you're not able to join live, although I did make it on a Saturday again so that more people can join us. But if for some reason you're not able to join us live, it is also going to be available as a replay. And the replays are just as powerful as live sessions, but it's kind of nice to be in a live session because we have Q&A at the end, so we actually get to converse and communicate and have a bit of interaction with one another, which is also one of my favorite things to do, is to interact with you and help you know yourself that way through interaction. All right, moving on to these current energies. I talked last week on the last video that I have been experiencing some little bit heavy energies, not bad, but heavier than I would like. And generally speaking, when I experience these type of energies, and it's not the first time I've experienced this, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but it's not the first time I've experienced this type of energy. It almost always, if not always, seems to be the case just before I catapult forward to the next level. So it always seems to happen just before I emerge from my shell, so to speak, and move on to the next level. However, this time, this energy has been with me for way longer than I would like and quite a bit longer than normal. Generally speaking, this kind of energy I'll feel for maybe 2, 3, 4 days, but this has been going on for well over a week, and I believe it started a few days before the last full moon, which we had in April 14th, I believe. So I want to talk a little bit about that because these energies, I tuned in this morning. I'm like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Like, why are we feeling this way? And it's not just me. I've spoken to quite a few people who are healers, intuitives, connected to their source, to their spirit. And literally, without exception, every single person has said, oh my God, I've been dragging my feet. WTF. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm not alone. So chances are you too have been feeling this heaviness. And again, it's not a bad energy, but it's a little bit like trying to run and you are knee deep in thick mud. It makes it challenging and awkward, and it slows things down. So it's not a very comfortable energy, but we can't just expect life to be always comfortable. Otherwise, we wouldn't get appreciation for when things are going great. So I asked this morning, I tuned in and I said, okay, tell me a little bit about more of this energy. What is behind this heaviness? And the phrase that came to me was, are you ready to take off? And obviously, when I heard that phrase, I thought, aha, all this energy has something to do with the next level of our unfoldment. So in today's session, I'm going to be talking about you taking off. Are you ready to take off? And what is this taking off for you in your particular instance? Because this new moon eclipse is in Taurus, this is affecting our self-worth, our material possessions, and our physical environments. So the taking off analogy will quite likely happen in those areas for you, in your self-worth, your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, what you think yourself in terms of your value, your physical possessions, your material possessions, and your physical environments. So chances are this taking off is going to affect you financially for some of you, physically, perhaps health-wise, and how firmly you stand on your feet. And that's obviously a metaphor. And I received a vision earlier today when I was contemplating what this video was going to be about. And again, I was being shown a vision that right now what we are doing, what we are experiencing is we are being given tools in order to help us dissect and digest certain information. So that's a metaphor, of course. And this must be happening on an unconscious level because I am not conscious myself of what these tools are. So this must be happening on an unconscious level. So if you are feeling heavy, if you've been dragging your feet, if you are saying to yourself, what the hell is going on? Why can't I shake this off? Then chances are you too are being prepared in the background to take off. And these tools that are being given to you are tools that are gifts and tools that are preparing you for the next step of your journey. And this next step of your journey has a lot to do with you taking off. So if I give the analogy of a plane that's taking off, let's look at it this way. If the plane is not, how do I say this? If things are not precisely taken care of in the plane, if the screws are loose, if things are not attached, if things are not solid, then when the plane takes off, it could potentially cause a lot of problems and it may end up creating a lot of damage. That's a metaphor, of course. So what the metaphor is saying to me is that before we take off, certain things have to be put into place. Certain things have to be tuned up, tightened up, and making sure that everything is solid, and with that solidity and with that groundness, we can then take off. And with that, there is a much higher chance that whatever this takeoff is going to serve us long term, so that we don't just take off and crash. And during this time, we are apparently learning a lot about ourselves. We are gaining a better understanding of who we are as a human being, as a species, whatever that means to you. And we are taking the time to appreciate the little things we don't normally pay attention to. And there is a certain level of awareness and knowledge that comes with that. For one, it helps us to understand ourselves better, and it helps us gain greater peace within ourselves. And I always say, with all the people I've worked with over the last 20 years, if I was to sum up into 2 or 3 things what people seek the most, yes, it's money, yes, it's relationship, yes, it's love, but at the end of the day, it's even more than that. What people seek at the end of the day is peace, is internal peace, where there is no internal struggle, or there is a lot less of an internal struggle going on. Because when we have internal peace, when we don't struggle, we experience life in a very different way. So it looks like going through this process of running through mud, as I say, where it feels heavy and treacherous and not very comfortable. On some level, it feels like, it must be on an unconscious level, we are actually cultivating more inner peace. Now think about this for 1 second. If you had more peace in your life, if you had more inner peace in your life, would you feel better about yourself? Would you feel better about your situation? Would you feel better about your relationship? Yes, you would. It doesn't mean you wouldn't want to experience something more. It doesn't mean that you don't have goals. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't want to go after something that you would like to experience, but you would do it from a space of being at peace with yourself and just being at peace. And to me, being at peace signifies, for me personally, but I believe many people will resonate with this, to me, being at peace means I am not at odds with myself, that I don't fight myself, that I don't question myself, that I don't second guess myself, I don't overthink. I am just at peace and in the flow and trust the process, even though it may not feel comfortable. So what I will say to you is, although it may not feel great right now where you are, although it may feel bumpy, although it may feel like, oh, how long is this going to go on? Just know that at the end of this, there is a greater peace that awaits you. And if peace is the price we pay for how we're feeling right now, then for me, it's worth it. I don't know about you, but for me, it's worth it. And peace comes about in many ways, but one of the ways that we experience greater peace is when we are not at odds with ourselves. And in order to not be at odds with ourselves, we have to understand, what is it that we are at odds with? And that takes some deeper work, that takes some contemplation, that takes some inner knowing of who we are beyond just the everyday conscious awareness. And by the way, the tools that I've developed are designed to help you do just that. I've mentioned before, one of the most important work that I do is working with the inner child, because the inner child is where all the limitations and the limiting beliefs are being held. So there's 1 or 2 meditations specifically about healing the inner child. So anyway, moving on. I just heard life is meant to be lived, not to be thought about. And obviously that is not to say that we should not be thinking. I mean, we have our minds and logic for a reason. But I feel what's being addressed here is, many of us are perhaps overthinking. I know with myself, when I'm in this energy, I tend to get very much into my head. What can I do? What am I doing wrong? What should I change? What's different? I get into a lot of thinking and overthinking. And when I'm in my head a lot, when I'm overthinking, I am further away from my inner source, from my spirit, from my inner knowing, because the inner knowing has nothing to do with logic. I mean, it is filtered through logic in order to understand it, but it has not much to do with our logic. It goes beyond our logic. It is beyond our logic. So one of the things you might be experiencing right now is a lot of overthinking. And I have spoken to a few people who are very much in their heads, and their thoughts are preoccupying them day and night to the point where they can't sleep. So if this is how you've been experiencing this heavier energy, know that you are not alone in this, and know that It won't last forever, obviously. It won't last very long, but you are in some sort of a preparatory process in order to help you catapult forward to the next step. As I mentioned, whenever I feel these energies, these heavier energies, I often feel like I'm disconnected from spirit, which is obviously not true. It's impossible. But because I'm in my head so much, I feel very much disconnected. I am still in tuned, remarkably so, because I feel like I'm not, but I don't feel it as much. So you might actually be experiencing these energies in terms of feeling like you're disconnected. Here's what I want to say to you. You're not disconnected. You cannot be disconnected. That's an impossible thing. Even if you try to be disconnected, you can't. What is happening, though, is that your level of awareness of your connection is not as high as you want it to be, or it's not at a level that you are used to. I know mine isn't. And this always drives me crazy, because my connection to source is what I need in order to do my work. So, as you can probably imagine, it plays tricks on my mind. It plays games on my mind. So I said, okay, now that we know that this is happening and all this energy is in some way, shape, or form preparing us for the next journey, and it seems to be a long journey. So whatever it is that you are going to be taking off with, there is longevity to it. For many of you, this taking off will be in some unfamiliar territory. Unfamiliar territory to you in this lifetime. So if you believe in other lifetimes, then that is saying that what you are about to take off to is something that is unfamiliar yet familiar in some strange ways. And it's familiar because it is already in your body, it's already in your DNA, but you may not have had a physical 3D human experience with it in this lifetime. I also want to say in particular, if you resonate with the idea of being some sort of a healer, okay, not obviously, it's not just about a healer, but that is coming up here. A lot of you are getting ancestral communications. So you are, during this process, getting reconnected with your ancestral line. And I'm seeing this as a whole bunch of people, your ancestors that you are connected with, but you were, the communication was somehow cut off previously. And you are in the process of reconnecting again with your ancestors, whatever that means to you. For many of you, you come from a community of long-standing healers. So this is obviously not going to apply to all of you, but you come from a community, yes, of long-standing healers. And for some of you in particular, you embodied this healer quality in a way that really made you stand out in the past. So perhaps for some of you, this taking off stage or phase that's coming up for you is you stepping into a very powerful healing type role. And may I say, with a lot of responsibility. So again, if this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, don't make it fit. Or it may be something that may not resonate with you in the moment, but you'll listen to this 3 months from now, or you'll be reminded of this 3 months from now, and you'll go, oh my God, that's what she was talking about. Okay. So, oh, thank you. Before I turn on the camera, I was being guided to share information about black onyx, and it just kind of like black onyx. It would be good for you to have black onyx with you, either as a jewelry, as a stone you wear. Close to your skin would be ideal. Something that you can hold in your hands and play with. And I actually did go and look up what a black onyx means. It is it does connect to the root chakra, so it is very grounding, but it is immensely powerful. Onyx is a stone that offers its bearer immensely powerful vibrations of protection, willpower, focus, and strength. Many believe that the onyx is there to drive motivation and to continuously push you forward in your life. It activates your root and solar plexus as well as your third eye chakra. So root is about grounding, and I have been needing to put extra effort and attention into my grounding, because when I'm in my head, don't feel very grounded. So that's a great grounding stone. Protection, obviously, that speaks for itself. Willpower, focus, and strength. So if you've been feeling unfocused, if you have been feeling all over the place, like I have, and if you've been feeling like you've lost your powers, you haven't. I promise you that. There is more to you than you know, far more to you than you know. So get yourself a black onyx. I think that would be very helpful. Also, black onyx has a calming quality which can be beneficial in working with challenging emotions such as grief and anxiety. Also, black onyx helps you balance your yin and yang. So thank you, Spirit, for giving me a suggestion of the stone. They're very inexpensive. You can get them at any New Age store, and I think these days you can get them off of Amazon, pretty much any place. They're very inexpensive. So get yourself a black onyx. I think I have one. I think that's my black onyx, or this may be tourmaline. I'm not sure which one it is, but get yourself black onyx. Wear it as jewelry. Wear it as a stone. Keep it close to your skin and just kind of play with it when you're feeling a little bit ungrounded, and ask the stone to help and ground you and to help you stay focused during these, well, challenging times. I asked the universe to give me a couple of messages through cards, and the first card that came up for us collectively is Leap of Faith. Oh, the good old leap of faith. What does that really mean, leap of faith? Well, for one, trust the process. Take a chance on something. Take a chance on something new. Believe in your abilities. The colors are obviously orange and yellow, which is all about sacral chakra and solar plexus. Sacral being all about creativity. Solar plexus is all about how you yield your power, your ego. And obviously all the chakras are connected, but these two chakras are being highlighted. So it may be good for some of you to address certain symptoms that are connected with second and third chakra. What comes to me with regards to second chakra is fear of abandonment. If in fact you suffer from fear of abandonment, emotional abandonment, physical abandonment, that would be rooted in your second chakra, and that fear will squander, I want to say, your ability to create to the fullest and more powerfully, which will affect how you show up in life. It'll affect your manifestation abilities. It'll affect what you attract into your life, because that fear will lower your frequency. So if you have any challenges with second chakra stuff, and you can Google that on yourself, your sacral chakra, and see what are the symptoms of an imbalanced chakra. I believe Kidneys, because I'm being drawn to kidneys. If you have any lower back challenges and they seem to be coming from nowhere, they don't seem to have a cause, a physical cause, but even with the physical cause, it just signifies that there may be a vulnerable space for you, and it may be an area of weakness. So by the way, the breathwork ceremony can absolutely help you with that. If you have any lingering low vibing feelings or energies that you are still embodying, breathwork ceremony, particularly the ones that we hold with Kamel, and he's a powerful healer. And by the way, we have healers, beings coming in doing healings on participants, and I get to be the one lucky enough to observe all of this as I hold energy. But anyway, breathwork can definitely help you with that. 5 is number of changes. For some of you, this leap of faith may start as early as next month. I am recording this 3rd week of April. Happy birthday, Taurus, by the way. For others of you, this leap of faith may be significant when it comes to the month of July, which is the number 7. But to look at these numbers as a different message, 5 is changes. So we are absolutely going through changes. There is no point in denying that. I can feel it in my bones. I am changing. I don't know what I'm changing to. Hopefully, a better version of myself, a more expanded version of myself. That is always my conscious goal. That is always my intention. But it is change nonetheless. And when we change, particularly when it's a deep spiritual change, what it means is that we are literally, what's the word I want to use, please? Reshaping the version of ourselves, reshaping ourselves to another version of ourselves. We are leaving the old ego structure behind in favor of something new. And we may not exactly know what the new is yet, but what I'm hearing, it's far more beneficial and far more empowering than the current structure that we are embodying as far as ego. 7 is always to me about enlightenment. Through the process of these changes, through the process of shifting our ego or shifting our identity, we become hopefully more enlightened human being. What does it mean to be more enlightened? Well, the idea of light, it's to be more aware. And I always say awareness is absolutely key, absolutely key. Without awareness, I want to say without awareness, we have no hope in hell. 5 and 7 comes to 12. 12, 1 and 2 equals 3, which is all about expansion. It's about bringing more into your life. So whatever changes you are going through right now, whatever funky energies that you are feeling, whatever is going on in your body, in your emotions, and mine have been up and down. And I actually said to myself, Jesus, I reverted back to 10 years ago. What the hell is happening? These energies will have a tendency to bring uproot some old beliefs, old ways of doing things. So that's something to watch out for. You might be experiencing some bottled up anger coming up, bottled up resentment. And that's, by the way, not a dig. It's just information. And if it comes up, just acknowledge it. I wouldn't necessarily even try to figure out where it's coming from. It's just coming up in order to be released. So one of the things I always give my clients advice on is when you have a feeling that comes up, particularly feeling that you are not fond of, it isn't always necessary to do something about it. In fact, sometimes the most appropriate, the best thing to do about it is nothing. Just allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to move that energy, digest this energy as it moves through your body. And I do this in particular with anger. Sometimes I get angry for no apparent reason. Something gets triggered, and the level of anger and the level of trigger is not a match. It's like, why am I being triggered with so much anger where the trigger is something so tiny? So obviously it's uprooting certain things. But here's what I do. And this was something that was given to me by Spirit a few years ago. I acknowledge that I'm getting angry, and I allow myself to feel this anger. I allow myself to feel this anger. Obviously, I don't lash out at anybody. I don't punch people's lights out. I just acknowledge that I'm feeling angry. I usually will pinpoint where it is in my body, and I will literally sit with it. I literally will allow myself to sit with this feeling of anger without creating stories or without attaching myself to stories about what this anger could mean, who's making me angry, none of that. And what ends up happening, and this is remarkable, I kid you not, within 5 minutes, it's gone. It just goes through me. And that is one of the best way I've learned how to release certain emotions consciously. Sometimes it's not as easy because sometimes we are struck with very difficult emotions, and when they're difficult, the last thing we want to do is just sit with it. But at the end of the day, emotion is energy in motion. It is, simply put, frequency. And if it's in your body, you want it to be out of your body. You want it to leave your body. And the only way for that to happen is allowing yourself to digest it. So why am I saying this? Because I have been feeling a lot of frustration. Things are not going as fast as I would like them to. And that's because I'm not, this is happening not on my ego's agenda, but it's happening on Spirit's agenda. Not that Spirit has an agenda, but you know what I mean. So I am literally allowing myself to feel this frustration. It's not comfortable at all because it's not a feeling that I necessarily enjoy. I allow myself to feel the stuckness that I'm feeling, and I allow myself to feel this lack of movement that I'm feeling, knowing that it's all part of the process. So I would encourage you to do the same if you can. I would encourage you just to sit with whatever it is that you're feeling without trying to fix it, without trying to overthink it. And I was speaking to somebody the other day, someone who is dear to me, and this person said, I am so much in my head. I'm trying to fix things with my head. And a lot of the times when we're feeling this, trying to think our ways out of those feelings is not very helpful. If anything, it just makes it worse. So take from this what you will and see how it resonates with you. And hopefully I've given you a little bit of helpful tips or guidance how to move through some of these rather uncomfortable energies that I call them heavier energies. So that was that was the first card, Leap of Faith. The second card was Soul Family. And I thought, we are getting reunited with our soul family. And there's a two-pronged message here. For some of you, it's you reconnecting with your soul family, with your family that's on a soul level. I might have mentioned this earlier. You are reconnecting with your ancestors, so that's part of the message. You are reconnecting with your soul sisters. That's a specific message for someone. So you may be reconnecting with your soul family on a soul level, but for others, you are reconnecting with your soul family here on earth. And this soul family is driven, and you are driven by the same purpose. So whatever purpose you believe you are here for, you are getting reconnected with like-minded individuals, one, and souls on soul level who appear to be helping you I want to say the words embody your purpose, and so that you will feel on purpose, embody your purpose. So that's a very beautiful, beautiful card. You see there's a picture of a person with all chakras lit up. For some of you, this signifies that it would be good for you to do some chakra clearing, chakra healing. For others of you, it indicates that you work with chakras. And always remember this: you are light embodied. You are light embodied in a physical form, which means light is within you. It always has, it always will be, it always has been. But your light may be dim. And it may be dim for several reasons. One, you are unable to see your own light. What does that mean? Well, when you're not able to see your own light, it means you're not able to see your own significance. And I don't mean the significance of the ego kind. I mean the significance of being a spiritual being, part of higher consciousness, a light being that is currently residing on planet Earth, which is a very densely energetic place. And you're not remembering who you really are. And that has a tendency to dim your light, or your light, as a result of that, may not be as bright as it could be. So that's one thing. You're not remembering who you are. Another thing is not valuing who you are, not valuing your gifts, not valuing yourself in terms of your own value. Every single human being, not even human being, every single thing that exists is of value. Everything. Regardless of how we humans think about it and what labels we put or attach on things. Everything, let me repeat, everything is of value. Everything. There's value to the tree that's outside your home. There is value to the flowers that grow in a garden. There is value to the birds that are singing. And there's value to you. The idea here is to be able to recognize that value. And recognition is key. We often don't recognize our own value. And when we don't recognize our own value, we tend to devalue ourselves. But everybody wants to feel valuable. Everybody wants to feel like they matter. Everybody wants to feel like they have a purpose on this planet Earth. Because it makes us feel like we have purpose. So if you have a tendency to undervalue yourself, if you feel about yourself in terms of low, in terms of value, you might want to look at that, because that will affect your solar plexus. It will affect how powerfully you meet life. It will affect the power you exude in terms of how you show up in life and what you attract into your life. So there's significance here about the solar plexus. If you've struggled with disempowerment, perhaps the takeoff for you is feeling more empowered, embodying more of your power. What does it mean to embody more of your power? That's a great question. Thank you. To embody more of your power simply means, according to my team, you give yourself permission to be at peace with who you are in terms of what you are embodying in the moment and what you are not embodying in the moment. What does that mean exactly, please? If you are embodying in the moment someone who is insecure, there is no point trying to fight that. Let me make this a little bit more clear. If in fact, as an example, you are someone who is insecure or has low self-worth, and if that's what you are embodying right now, there is no point trying to fight it. There's no point trying to get rid of it because it's a part of you. The only way to shift it and to embody a greater self-esteem, a higher confidence, is to first understand why you feel this way. What is contributing or what has contributed to you feeling less than? And from that space, also through healing your inner child, healing those aspects of you that feel this way. And once you begin to heal those aspects of you that feel this way, the energy begins to shift and change. And then you start to embody more of your true power. Okay? So that's what was being meant. Thank you for that. So they're showing me clock, which means it's time for me to go through the individual messages. I picked up some really beautiful cards this week. I'm not a card reader. Many of you know that already. I mean, I know certain meanings, but I just love looking at the pictures and I just let the pictures speak to me. So sometimes they correspond to the write-up about the card, and sometimes I just get my own versions. So I'm going to use those today. And there's a link down below. These are mermaid cards. There's a link down below if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going now to focus on messages for those of you who are drawn to pile number 1. And I am asking the universe, spirit, my team, to shed some light for you with regards to your takeoff. Where are you likely or most likely to be taking off in your life? In what area? So where are you most likely to be taking off in what area? Too many cards. I think saying that you're coming full circle is probably an understatement, but it was shown to me, so I am going to say that. So if you're choosing pile number 1, you are coming full circle. Full circle simply means that you're coming to a point of an ending. And an ending also always signifies a new beginning. And this new beginning is something with a new territory for you. It's a new territory for you. Oh, beautiful. So you've got the Lovers. That's a beautiful depiction. Okay. So in traditional tarot, the Lovers is, it could mean about a love relationship, a union, but it may all be true, but this is not what I'm getting. Here's what I'm getting specifically for you in terms of you're taking off and where these energies are going to affect you the most. And for you, pile number 1 is how you see yourself. How you see this woman looking at herself in a mirror, and she's joining with her reflection, but her reflection is a different version of her. It's another version of her. And what I'm also getting is she's joining with a version of her that seems to be from a different lifetime. So for pile number 2, it looks like you are merging with a version of you that is from a different lifetime. I'm hoping this is going to make sense. I'm just going purely by how this feels. What I'm also getting is you are being more at peace with yourself, which is always something that we seek at the end of the day. Let me just see what else I'm getting here. And what I'm hearing is, yes, you can. There's also a lot of determination that I feel is happening, and you are being encouraged to go towards your dreams, to manifest your dreams, to, what's the word I want to use, please? You're being encouraged to go after your dreams. Thank you. And what I'm also getting from this is you are getting reacquainted. I want to keep saying with a version of you from another lifetime. Now, my understanding is that we exist on many planes at once as different versions. This may be a strange message for some of you. I know it was strange for me when I first realized it, but I've met my version, what I call my future self, and she's a blue being. I might have mentioned this to you before. I call her Anna. She is extraordinarily powerful, and she is a badass. I like her a lot. And she is the go-between my 3D human version and the higher council I work with. So when I talk about this other version of you, that's what I'm referring to. And I feel for many of you, or at least some of you, you are in the process of meeting this future version of yourself, which is I want to say a higher version of you. It's a more evolved version of you. It's not that you're not evolved, but you are, as a human being, a lot more limited than this future version of you. And this future version, your future version, has advice for you. So this is where you are likely to take off in merging with your higher self. That's a very interesting message from the Lovers. I don't think that's what it means, but like I said, I just channel what comes to me. And being at peace with yourself more is really what I'm getting from this. I'm also getting that you are getting to a point where you will feel a lot more emotionally stable. And for some of you, it means that you are reaching higher realms. I'm trying not to over explain it because I don't want it to lose its meaning, but you are getting closer to connecting with other realms. So however that sits with you, however that lands with you, just see how it comes. See how that message lands with you in your body. And if you want to comment on what that means for you, I would be grateful just to understand how you guys perceive it, okay? Being more at peace with yourself, being more, thank you, financially stable. So your takeoff also includes financial stability. I just heard guides and angels you probably already work with the idea of guides and angels, but if you don't, or if you're not as closely as you would like to, your takeoff coming up, your new beginning, has to do with you connecting with other realms and with guides and angels and other beings. It does not necessarily mean you have to be a healer, although chances are high, quite high, that you already are, but you don't have to label yourself that way by any means. Overall, you're just getting closer to meeting your true self and your purpose. And that is a very beautiful message, because if there is one question that gets asked a lot during my session, if I was to pick one that stands out is, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? And at a certain point, I believe every human being, or most human beings, get to this space where they start to ask themselves, why am I here? What is my purpose? I believe that our purpose is to experience. And we often have the free will as to what we experience or how we experience certain experiences. But we are born with certain themes in our blueprints, and these themes will generally play out in our lives. So if you're pile 1, you are reaching the point where you are going to feel a lot more on purpose and financially stable. Boy, that is a good sign. I like that message. There is one more card that I like to pick for you, and this is about what this deck is called the Secret Language of Light. These are beautiful cards. Again, link is down below. What additional message do you need to know in order to meet your financial goals, to meet your higher self? What other message do you need? What is important for you to know? Inner voice. Chances are quite high you're a healer. I'm just going to say it. Okay? You don't have to be, but chances are quite high. What does it mean, inner voice? Well, heed your inner voice. Interesting word. Heed your inner voice. Or in other words, listen to your inner voice. What has your inner voice been telling you? And sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the ego and the true inner voice. And we can hear our inner voice more clearly through contemplation, through meditation, through breath work, anything like that. Mindfulness. Certainly calming our minds. Our inner voice is not going to come from overthinking. So this message says this is collective actually. It's time to tune in more to what our inner voices say. Now, our inner voice is connected to our highest calling. And I feel for you, pile number 1, you are being encouraged to listen to your inner voice because it has something to do with your higher calling. Also, the number 2 and 8 comes to a 10. I talked about coming full circle, ending a cycle. You are at that point right now. And as a result of closing a cycle, coming to full circle, there's probably choices and decisions that you will make. Make sure that you make these choices and decisions from a place of strength, not weakness, strength. And every single one of us has strength inside. Every single one of us has weaknesses. So whatever choices you make next, big choices, big decisions, make sure you make them from the place of strength, not from the place of weakness. Thank you. How do you know you're making choices from a place of weakness? You're making it from a place of being afraid. You're making it from a fearful place. Okay? From a fearful place. So that's what I have for you, pile number 1. That is very beautiful. If you are drawn to pile number 2, what messages does the universe have for you in terms of your own takeoff? In what areas or area are you most likely to be having this takeoff? Think big. Think big. The next version of yourself is one that is very big. I don't mean ego big. I mean embodiment of your true power, the knowingness of who you are. You are leaving the smallness behind. I've noticed lately I've been talking a lot about feeling small, so this must be a theme for many of you. I know it's been a theme for me most of my life. Believing that I was, oh my gosh, believing that I was, well, not believing that I was small. I was told I was nothing, so therefore I ended up believing that I was nothing, which made me feel very small. So look at this. My beautiful pile 2, you've got the full time to start fresh. And I'm getting chills as I say this. You are likely right now at a point of your life where you have a really deep emotional understanding of yourself. You're coming out of deep emotional battle. And oh, battle has it been. You have been battling with yourself, emotionally speaking. And you are coming out of that. You are saying no to, let me just rephrase. You're no longer looking at yourself as insignificant. That's huge. That is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Pile number 2. You're no longer seeing yourself as insignificant. That's true power. Again, I'm not talking about ego. Oh, I'm better than you. That's no. That's insecurity. I'm talking of the real truth, the all-encompassing truth that you are a powerful being, embodying a very limited physical body, but you're both at the same time. As a fool, she has a very small bag with her, or baggage with her, or knapsack with her, which means wherever you are going, you are not taking trash with you. Obviously, that's a metaphor. You're not taking a lot of heaviness with you. You are starting fresh and light. And the universe is supporting you in this. Whatever that may mean to you in terms of your own, of your own evolution. So for you, the taking off is about lightness, starting new, starting fresh, starting a brand new journey perhaps. And remember, the new moon, the solar eclipse, is about physicality. It's Taurus. So chances are you are starting fresh in terms of your career, in terms of your relationships. One of the most important relationships we have is with ourselves. And you are starting fresh and starting light, which means you have left a lot of baggage behind, or are still in the process of doing so, because this is just coming up very shortly. Now, here's what I want to say about this energy. It is formless, which means it's up to you to decide how you want to use the full energy. It's up to you to decide how you want to experience the next phase of your life. So the door is very open to you. And in terms of whatever it is that you want to experience more of or something new, the door is open to you. But because this is very much physically connected, because it's a Taurus, it's the eclipse is in Taurus, chances are it has to do with your health, has to do with your finances, how you earn a living, and has to do with your relationships and your physical environment. So there is something fresh and something new that you are going to be welcoming in your life. And I very clearly hear you're starting fresh, and you're also leaving a lot of burdens behind. What I also feel, some of you are moving. You are moving away from what is known to you to something that is new, something that is perhaps different. Not necessarily scary, but different. Some of you are leaving your friends behind. You are literally leaving where you live. It could also mean you're leaving a country. So that's not going to be for all of you, obviously, the country comment, but some of you are changing countries. You are moving away, and I see family and friends saying goodbye to you. So you are definitely starting on a new journey. Perhaps some of you are going to Machu Picchu. I don't know where that came from, but maybe that's just one person, and if that's you, I would love for you to comment on the bottom. So that is you, pile number 2, fresh new starts. On any level that you want, you just have to decide what that is for you, okay? Again, the universe has your back. What is additional message for pile number 2? I hear the bell. It's time. It's time for this new endeavor. So I have a feeling many of you will know exactly what that is. You are also receiving a frequency upgrade. You are upgrading in terms of your vibrational sequence. To put it more simply, your own vibration, your own frequency is being sped up. And the more, the higher we vibrate, the quicker we vibrate. Can I say it that way? I think that's making sense. I am seeing the idea of tempering, emotional stability, creating more emotional stability for yourself and in your life. This is an odd message. Have you been thinking of driving Uber? I don't know who this is for, but that's a message for somebody. Beautiful message. It's called Soul Tree. That's beautiful. So let me tune into this. I hear knowledge, 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 knowledge. You are encouraged to seek higher knowledge, to seek deeper knowledge. I feel this is for some of you who will resonate with being a teacher. And this knowledge, this higher knowledge, this higher wisdom is available to you. It has an angelic quality to it. Perhaps this knowledge will come from your angels or angels, guides and angels. And perhaps you are in a process of making, how do I want to say it? You are in a process of committing yourself to this seeking knowledge. You're on a quest to seek knowledge. Perhaps you're starting a journey. You're going to be moving to different countries, to different places, and as a result of that, you're going to learn about yourself, other people, other cultures. there's very much seeking knowledge here, very much seeking knowledge. Now, here's what I want to say. We all already possess this higher knowledge within us, but our experiences help to draw this knowledge out of us on a conscious level. So when I say seeking, you are not necessarily going to seek out knowledge. You are going to seek out experiences that will help you expose this knowledge from within you that you have already. I hope this is making sense. Okay, this is some higher calling for some of you. Okay, so your new takeoff has a higher calling quality to it. Okay, I want to say be brave. Be brave. So that's pile number 2. Pile number 3. You have been anchored for quite some time, stuck. However, the anchor is being pulled up. So if you think of the analogy of anchor in a boat, anchor coming up, which means you're no longer stuck in one position. Now, being anchored, may have helped you feel safe and stable and solid, but you are seeking a different stability and different solidity. And this is financially speaking. So the message for you, pile number 3, is you are likely going to unstuck yourself from a situation that has previously felt solid financially, but it's time to move on and find new ways of creating your stability and you're creating your solidity, financially speaking. So it's going to be around work or career for many of you, or what you do to earn a living. Okay? The word is financially stable. Well, I like that. It's all about Taurus, finances and money and possessions. It's important to stability is important to everybody, let's face it, but apparently it's a lot more important to Taurus than perhaps to other signs, but it is important to everybody. Be mindful not to drag your old with you where you're going, because then it just defeats the purpose. If you're going to be dragging along your dirty laundry, then what's the point of moving on somewhere else where you're taking your dirty laundry with you? Leave your dirty laundry behind. Obviously, that is a metaphor. I see an image of you wanting to take your burdens with you. Why? Why would you want to take your heaviness and burdens with you? Some of you, okay, even though you clearly are moving on, clearly, some of you have difficulty parting from, let me just see. I'm going to say it differently. As you move on from your current to this new way of creating your stability, it is important for you to unpack your bags and make sure that everything that is in your bags, in your baggage, is worth taking with you, okay? Because for some of you, your baggage is too heavy, and certain aspects have no place where you're going. This is obviously a metaphor. See how it resonates with you, how it lands in your body. But there is a little adjustment that's required in order to move on with lighter energy, because you don't want to be dragging your baggage with you. And some of you want to move on to something else with your baggage with you. Why? Why? Okay. Now, I'm asking in the background, give me a little bit more about this baggage. What sort of baggage? It's other people's commitments. Other people's commitments you have taken on upon yourself. You feel obligated. You feel obligated to some people to stay. Feeling like you owe them something. I don't know who this is for, but if this is for you, you will know exactly what I'm talking about without me having context. Okay? Whatever that is, I'm just going to say you need to take some inventory of where you're going and what you are willing and not willing to take with you, because whatever you take with you from where you are right now has the potential to slow you down or to weigh you down. Okay? So what areas are we talking about? Pile number 3. King of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So what I'm getting here is you are getting ready for new beginnings. You are what I'm seeing here is you're observing your environment. You are just about ready to take off, but you're waiting for the right moment. You're waiting for the storm to pass, whatever that means to you, and you're waiting for the right moment. Now he's holding this, I don't know what it's called, that has light beaming from it. He needs whatever he needs to help him illuminate his path. He has it at his disposal. And they're saying to me, this light represents his inner being. He's using his inner light to guide the way. What I'm also hearing is inner conflict. He's shedding light on some conflicts, inner conflicts or conflicts outside of him. And he's choosing not to engage in these conflicts anymore. He's freeing himself or herself from these conflicts, whether they're internally driven or externally driven. What I also hear is that he, she, you are protected. Now, obviously, I always say, just because they say you're protected, don't go in the middle of a highway with cars speeding at 100 miles an hour because you're not going to get hit. That would be a dumb thing to do. So obviously, when I'm saying you're being protected, you understand what I mean by that, okay? He's also supported by the universe in his next endeavor. So whatever it is that you are moving on to, you are being supported. The universe has your back, okay? Now, what I'm also seeing, there's a lot of predators here swimming around him, okay? And he's making sure he doesn't get in their way. So he's being very discerning in terms of what moves he makes next and when. Very discerning, okay? However, he is sure of himself. You are sure of yourself. And he's waiting. So you might be in a place right now where you're waiting for the right time to make the next move. And you will know when the next move is because your inner light, your inner guidance will tell you. okay? But you are being absolutely very discerning. I also hear your path is clear. Your path is clear. Perhaps in the past you tried to make something happen and the path wasn't clear. You are now waiting for the path to clear, but what I'm hearing is the path is clear for you now. So whatever it is for you, whatever, takeoff you are making in whatever direction, the path is clear for you. But I have a feeling it has to do with finances as well. I believe that was, it seems to be the physical matters seem to be the focus these days, okay? Now, additional message for pile number 3. Don't forget the transformational tools, because they may very well help you in your taking off moment. Help you understand more about yourself, more about your shadows, how your shadows stand in your way, and then how to clear them. And of course, if you would like me and my team to hold your hand while we help you shift your vibration and release some of the heaviness, some of the limitations, I would be more than honored to do that. Okay. What additional message do we have for pile number 3? Look at this beautiful card, Soulcraft. You are in a process of making yourself feel whole. Another number 10. What does it mean you're in a process of making yourself feel whole? First and foremost, you are already whole. You are already whole. There is nothing missing within you. Nothing. Nothing. But you are in the process of feeling whole, which means accepting the fact that there's nothing missing within you. There's nothing inherently missing within you. When we realize that there's nothing inherently missing within us, and whatever it is that we are missing is just mind games, we embody more of our divine energy. We embody more of our divinity, and we show up more fully empowered in life. Okay? I actually want to read this particular card. For some reason, I'm being drawn to read this. So it's called Soulcraft. Let's see what it says. Oh my God, I opened exactly on that page. All right. The thoughts, ideas, and topics you incessantly discuss are crafting your life. So focus on ones that make your heart smile. You are ready to receive answers from your soul about any topics, thoughts, or ideas you want to change. Be wise in your crafting, and the path of least resistance will call you. Different soul vibrations will inspire different actions. If you are feeling tired, your inspired action will be to rest or sleep. If you are feeling love, you will be inspired to do things that emulate love in your day. We all sense with our soul, but often override it with the rational mind. Trust your soul is bringing you the most and up-to-date information. Beautiful. Pile number 3, absolutely stunning. You are ready to craft your life. Okay? I wish each and every one of you a beautiful week. I would love for you to comment on how these messages hit you. Bear in mind, my energy is a little bit wonky, so I don't even know how this all came across. I am trusting the process. That's the best that I can do. And of course, don't forget the free transformational tools and the masterclass coming up on how to connect with your guidance, with your guides. And the breath work on the 30th of April. Very powerful breathwork ceremony. That link is down below. I look forward to seeing you, hearing from you, and I look forward to working with you. May you have yourself a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.